A bit earlier I was looking at some old photos on an old hard drive and it struck me just how many crap photos I've got. And that just reminds me that my interest in photography is cyclical. I mean, there are times where I'm super passionate about it, other times slightly bored with it, but I still love photography. There's some times though that it's just missing that spark. But how do you reignite that spark? Here are some ideas in case you've lost that loving feeling with photography. Wow, this intro is way OTT. Now previously I was a product photographer and it was cool at first to say, hey, I'm a full-time photographer. But once that tedium kicks in, once the work starts feeling like work, when you're just doing exactly the same thing over and over again, that's when you start to lose interest. Repetitive equals bad. Now, before I moved to Hong Kong, I was primarily into landscape shooting, and you know landscapes, typically green stuff, grass, trees, plants, cows shitting in the field. But Hong Kong, everything concrete, big tall buildings, and maybe some tourists shitting into the drain. Not really. Well, not just drains anyway, anywhere. I'm not talking about scatography, I'm saying that if you're losing interest in what you're shooting, do something wildly different. You know how to use a camera already at least. For me, the change was as challenging as it was refreshing. But it was incredibly exciting as well because you've learned all these concepts, all these rules, and you can apply it to something completely different, visually. Transitioning isn't difficult, it's all the same, isn't it? Rule of thirds, horizon runs along that thirds line, big tall thing of interest along that line, gradually smaller things that lead off into the distance, foreground interest, boat to replace a shitting cow, with leading line towards its poo spewing backside. And by photographing something different, it could capture your imagination, and when you go back to your usual subjects, you might feel inspired. By trying new things, I ended up getting into street photography, and I love it. Keep things interesting with new visual stimuli. Keep things stimulated. Up here. Not down there. Well, whatever turns you on, but it might look a little bit dodgy if you're shooting a load of deer and you're pitching a trouser tent. If you're going to stick to the same genre, mix it up, visit new locations, attend interesting events. Yeah, well, not too fun being pelted by Brussels sprouts. I'm sure there's some kind of deeper meaning behind this. I mean, you know, kids starving in the world, people chucking sprouts about. Oof, sometimes the events attack back at you, but as long as you're keeping the journey fun, and I don't just mean the car ride, although it does help to have some sick beats playing, the process of getting that photo, I mean, you want to be enjoying it, otherwise your heart's not really in it. If you absolutely have to do the same genre, why not try a different format? You could try square or panorama. Maybe even black and white, or black and white panorama. I would show you some of those old Hasselblad X-Pan photos I took, but I don't actually own a copyright to those. 9 years of photos I don't own. Yeah, there were times I lost that spark, but I wouldn't have changed anything. That's just the way it is. It definitely feels good to be taking photos that I own now anyway. And before we move on to the next bit, just a quick shout out to sponsor this video, Video Blocks. If you ever need any stock footage, I use it all the time. I've used it for video of a dog defecating in a park or a lady crying. I mean, I'm not going to go out and take video of a dog defecating in a park. If you want royalty-free studio quality 4K or HD footage, After Effects templates, motion backgrounds, then you can save 40% on marketplace items if you're a member. Click the link below. Anyway, moving on. Gear. All too often we're obsessed with that expensive little device we use to take photos with, fiddling with its dials, buttons, going through the menus, chimping. Chimping is not good for you. Look, it makes your neck disappear. You know, quite often we overthink this shot. We over-obsess about the little technical details. Spend less time connecting with that inanimate gadget in your hands and more time trying to connect with your subject, not using the snap bridge because it probably won't connect very well, because that's where all the cool stuff happens. You could go back to using film, less to fiddle with and no way previewing the shot you just took. It allows you to focus on your next shot. Now, one thing you could try is to shoot with a cheap camera for the day. Ooh, that could make a great video idea. I wonder what we could call it. When you're shooting with a cheap camera, a toy camera, your phone, you've got a low expectation of what kind of stuff you'll be shooting. Whereas with a pro level camera, you're hoping that you're going to have some kind of masterpiece. With a toy camera, you're not thinking about creating high art with it. If you're taking photos without thinking about whether other photo geeks will give you a little love heart online for it or completely destroy it, you can at least take photos with minimal distractions. Let's face it, photography is quite a lonely hobby. Your best friend is your camera and your lens, which is why you spend so much money on it. But get some real friends, and if not, buy one. Nah, not really, but do find somebody who's also interested in photography, just like you, and go out with them and take some photos together. It's easier to find that spark, to reignite that love. Take lots of photos, take the pressure off, don't take things too seriously, and take a friend if you need. And you'll keep coming back to the super bloody amazing thing that is photography. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching, and remember, everybody takes crap photos sometimes, and if you can look back at your old stuff and say, wow, they're crap photos, it means you progressed from crapness. Thanks for watching, subscribe, see ya.